Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Jamie. In today's video, we're doing a full face using drugstore makeup. I love drugstore makeup. It's where I first got my start in playing with makeup, and I feel like the drugstore in the past few years has really stepped up their game. So I have a basket full of some of my drugstore favorites, so if you want to hang out with me and get ready, let's just get started. To prime today, I'm going to go in my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and I'm having more issues with my pores this week than regularly, so I'm just going to put it onto the areas where I need the most coverage. And I just take a little bit on my finger and I'll just spread that out. My nose and like this area of my cheeks tend to be the most problematic, and a little bit right on my forehead. This product is supposed to be a dupe for the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer, which I've never bought because I am not going to spend $60 on a primer. But using this product like independently, I really like it. I find that it does fill in my pores, and foundation really generally sits nice on top of it. So now that we have primed, I'm not going to prime the rest of my cheek area. I found the foundation combo that I'm going in doesn't really need it. And I've talked before, I'm kind of skeptical when it comes to primers. But today I'm going to mix two different foundations. I'm going to mix the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Foundation in this shade C3 or F3 with the LA Girl Pro Matte Foundation in the shade Ivory. This one is way too light for me, and this one is way too pink for me. But when you mix them together, they make a decent combo. So I'm going to put about a pump of the Makeup Revolution on the back of my hand and a little less than a pump of the LA Girl. And I find that although the LA Girl one doesn't really fit me, like I'm so glad I have it because it's the perfect mix-in medium for other foundations. I'm going to apply that with a sponge because it applies best with a sponge, and I love the finish of this foundation. The Makeup Revolution one is so hydrating and it just looks really good on my skin. I do have dry skin, so I tend to gravitate towards hydrating foundation. Just tapping that in and then mixing it with the matte one just helps even out that undertone. I do have pink undertones, but this foundation is like straight up pink out of the bottle and it doesn't work for me. They also both have decent coverage. I still have a considerable amount of foundation left on my hand, so I don't even know if I'm going to use those full 2 pumps. Just blending it out everywhere. This is like the perfect shade for me in the winter. Even though it's still fall, but I've lost whatever color that I attempted to gain this summer. So usually I am the lightest in foundations, but the Makeup Revolution one actually goes a few shades lighter. And the LA Girl one, I think Ivory is their lightest shade, but it's too light for me because I typically go for lighter foundations because I find that I am the lightest color, but I think if I repurchase it, I would get a shade or 2 darker. And because the LA Girl one is a pro matte foundation, I actually don't find it to be like too matte and drying on my skin. So I'm just gonna dab out that extra foundation because we don't need it. We can go right in with concealer. And the concealer that I'm using today is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. And because this foundation is still a little light, I'm not really gonna highlight too much. And I have this concealer in the shade Fair 08. And the ColourPop concealers are available at Ulta, so you're definitely able to go in and swatch the shade which works for you, which I find is kind of a necessity when it comes to complexion products because a lot of people are saying this concealer oxidizes, which it does to an extent. So I liked being able to swatch it and like walk around in store and then come back. It's a very flattering concealer overall, but I'm probably the last person to talk about this concealer because I just bought it this year. And I feel like it is such a like staple in a lot of makeup routines. So now that I am good to go, I think I am going to set this today. And my favorite setting powder is Drugstore, and it's the No. 7 Loose Translucent Setting Powder. The Translucent Perfect Light Loose Setting Powder. This does come in a few different shades, so I'm just going to take the smallest amount on my sponge and just press that in. Now that we're getting into the colder months, I try to avoid powdering my face as much as possible because I already look dry as it is. So now I'm going to move on to my brows. And my brow pencil, and like the only brow pencil that I use is from NYX. It's the Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Ash Brown. So I just like to do the bottom of my brows to give them a little bit more definition. And then I'll fill in the arch and the tail. But as you can probably tell, I have pretty full brows naturally. So filling it in for me is more defining the shape rather than adding those hairs. I actually don't have a drugstore brow gel. When it comes to my brows, I pretty much do the same exact routine, don't really switch it up. So the brow gel that I use is the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, which is like $20 and obviously not drugstore, but it is my favorite brow gel of all time. And that's just how I get a structured brow that I really like. I like having the little bit of definition, almost like the squared off front and the arch. And I really struggle. I don't really have a natural tail in my brows. So just drawing it on gives me that shape. Next, we're going to move into our eyes. And the palette that I've been holding up this whole time is the palette that we're using. It is the Milani Soft and Sultry palette. They came out with a few of these a couple of years ago, and this is the cool tone one. So this is what it looks like on the inside, and I don't get as much use out of this palette as I would like to. The other drugstore palettes that I have, my Coastal Scents Single Shadows, which are in my Project Pan, and some ColourPop eyeshadows, but I've used them all on my channel before, so I want to spotlight this palette. And I'm also very feeling like a cool tone vibe to match this gray sweater that we have on today. I'm going to start on a big fluffy brush and just go into these shades right here. I've been really feeling cool tones lately. I just feel like they are having their moment in the sun, and I'm here for it. So this is the palette that I want to get more use out of. Nothing too crazy. I'm not really doing much today. My friend's coming over and we're going to watch the El Camino Breaking Bad movie because I saw it and she hasn't. So I'm super excited. If you haven't seen it and you're a Breaking Bad fan, it was so good. And I actually started rewatching Breaking Bad today because that movie reminded me how much I love the show. My favorite thing about the show was that there were so many small details that they just incorporated. Something would happen and you'd think it was minute and be a major plot portion in another episode, and they were like small little things. I was like, oh, I totally forgot what happened. So then I was looking up a character on Wikipedia because I like knew who he was, but I forgot his storyline. So I was like, oh, I'll start at season 5, which was the last season and the best season. And I was like, oh my God, this all happened in season 5. So I went back to season 4 and I was like, wow, this happened in season 4. And I feel like that show has so many just twists and turns and it keeps you on your toes that so much can happen. And I was with my friends last night and I was like, you guys just need to watch Breaking Bad. Like, it has literally been rated one of the best shows of the generation. So now on this brush, which is from BH Cosmetics, the number 9, the other one we were using was the BH Cosmetics number 5 brush, which is my favorite blending brush. I'm gonna go in with this darker brown shade right here and put it into our crease some more just to add some more definition. I haven't really decided what I'm doing with this look yet. So besides watching the El Camino movie, my friend and I, she's trying to get into makeup. So we're gonna go to Ulta and just buy her a few brushes. She wants her first bronzer. I feel like I'm watching my child grow up. So we're gonna go to Ulta and then just go out to dinner tonight. So that was my big plan. So keeping it very kind of just soft and natural, and I just wanna add a little bit of definition. I just put a little bit of definition in the crease, and now I'm gonna go in and darken up that outer corner. So on this Morphe M321 brush, I'm gonna go into this dark brown right here and just smoke it out in the outer corner. I don't think I wanna use black today and make it too dramatic. I'm not crazy about Morphe brushes because I found a lot of them lose their shape and they get super scratchy. But this one is a gem. It's the perfect small crease brush. And granted, like, you can find this in another brand, but I really do like this brush. And there is another Morphe brush that I like. This one is the Morphe M433. You can tell mine's really dirty, but I love this brush. But then I have other Morphe brushes that have lost their shape and like scratched the heck out of my eyes, but these are two that I really like. So now that I'm happy with like the depth of the outer corner, we are gonna put the shimmer on for the lid. And I'm gonna use this BH Cosmetics number 8 brush. And I think we're gonna go in with this top shade right here. So it's a pretty like champagne color. I do have a liquid shadow in the basket. I haven't decided if I'm gonna use it. I brought it out just in case, but. So as far as these metallics go, they're pretty. They're not as foiled as I like a metallic to be, but you can definitely get that impact if you build it up or wet your brush. I'm so here for cool tones. I was starting to already think about the products that I want to put in my November Shop My Stash, which saying November Shop My Stash and knowing like the year is over is crazy for me. But I've been thinking about putting this palette in or the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette because I want to get more practice with cool tones, and those are my 2 cool tone palettes. But very excited for cool tones. I love like cool tone grungy lips, like cool tone eyes. I have a cooler undertone, so for me it's very flattering. And now for my inner corner highlight, I think I'm gonna go in with just the white shade here and just use it to brighten up a little bit. I think I may regret this decision, but I want to line my eyes with shadow. So I have one of the e.l.f. $1 brushes I was just talking about. I don't even know what it is, but the brush looks a little something like this. And I think I am gonna go in with the black and just line my eyes like I would use eyeliner, but with eyeshadow. So I like to look down and just stamp it onto my eyes. It's quite a nerve-wracking process, but it becomes a little bit softer than eyeliner, and worst comes to worst, you can blend it out if it doesn't work out well. So once we're happy with the way that looks, I am going to smoke out slightly on the lower lash line. I'm going to go in with another one of the e.l.f. $1 brushes. Once again, it's worn off. This one was like the first, I think it's their blending brush. It was the first blending brush I had, and I was like, this is so great. But it's so stiff that you can't really get a good blend, which is why I like it for the bottom lash line. So go in with those first two shades we put in our crease and just smoke them along the lower lash line. Just a very simple, kind of barely there look, but I just like having a little bit of color on the lower lash line when we do a look like today. So now that our eye look is done, we can go in with eyeliner and mascara. And eyeliner for today, I'm going to use the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Honey Dude, which is their nude color. And then we can go in with our mascara afterwards. I love the ColourPop Cream Gel Liners, but I find that this one just isn't as good. I'm going to try warming it up on the back of my hand because it does feel a little bit rough right now. But I don't know if this was the old formula or if it's just this color, but this one is a little bit harder to apply. But I do love a good nude liner in the waterline. And this is also my project pan. And then we're gonna go with mascara. My favorite drugstore mascara is the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. So that's the one we're gonna be using today. And I'm just gonna generously coat my mascara because I think the one makeup product I couldn't live without is mascara. I love it. I'm not a false lashes kind of person for an average basis, but I will wear it on a special occasion. But I just pile on the mascara. I was actually at work and I believe I was wearing the NARS Climax mascara. I was at our cafeteria and I was talking to the one woman. She was like, I just want to ask you, like, where'd you get your eyelashes done? And I was like, little old me, like these are natural. And it's probably my favorite feature, so I really like to play them up. I did talk about in a video how the Hourglass Caution Mascara has now replaced this as my favorite mascara of all time. But as far as affordable mascaras go, this one is the best, especially giving you length. I find that I need more volume than length because I have long lashes, but they're not very voluminous. So that's something that I look for. But if you are looking for a lengthening mascara, I highly recommend this. And Ulta is always having, you know, those buy one, get one 50% off sales. So that's when I stock up on these. The Lash Princess one does come in a few different varieties, but I find that this green tube is my favorite. And they just released this in waterproof if you're a waterproof mascara kind of person. So next we're gonna move on to our cheek products. And for bronzer today, I'm gonna use a new product in my collection, which is the Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade 100. I just posted a haul that I did at Ulta and Sephora, which is where I picked up this bronzer. So if you wanna see the other products I picked up, I'll have that link down below. So I'm gonna go in with this on a BH Cosmetics fluffy brush and just put this on my cheeks. And I think this color is gonna be perfect for me. It's nice and light, and I feel like I can definitely build it up. It's a little warmer than I thought it would be, but we can make this work. It's very pretty, actually. I just like the fact that it's buildable because I'm so fair skinned. Sometimes I can find that bronzers are almost too pigmented for me and they can be an issue. So I prefer something that's buildable, but it's usually not a problem. Now that I'm like more experienced with makeup, I can tell if a product's gonna be too pigmented or if how I should work with it. But just bronzing my nose, my cheekbones, just adding a little bit more color because this foundation was a hair too light for me. Now let's go in and get that mascara off my outer corner before it drives me up a wall. Next, we're gonna go in with our blush. And for blush, I'm actually going with a cream blush product, and it's from Flower Beauty. And we're gonna go in with their blush balm in the shade Cinnamon. I talked in that haul how I used to put this blush at the lowest for my ranking video, but now I found a way that I like applying it better that really works for me. So I'm gonna take some of the blush out and put it on my finger. So I put a drop about this big. Actually, I might add a hair more. That big. And now I'm going to put it on my other hand. This might have been a little bit too much, but this actually blends out really well. and just dab it onto my cheeks. So once I look like a literal clown, I'm just gonna take my beauty blender and blend it out. Put that extra product right on my nose. But this technique just looks the best. I can really concentrate the blush where I like it on those apples. And this color is just so pretty for fall. It's like a burnt orange color, and it just makes your cheeks look healthy, and cream blushes just look really natural. And this blush does not disturb powders underneath. So the last step of our face routine is to highlight. And for highlight today, I'm gonna go in with the Essence Pure Nude Highlight in the shade 10 Be My Highlight. I did also bring out the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek product. It's ColourPop Super Shock Cheek Highlighter in the shade Lunch Money, but I think I'm gonna use the Essence one. But I do love this ColourPop one, and kind of like that Flower Beauty one. It's a formula I had to learn to love, but now I can't put this down. But I think the Essence one's gonna go a little bit better with our look. I'm gonna go in on the Studio 5 London brush, which I use all the time to highlight, and take a generous amount of this product. This can come off a little too dark for me, but we're just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna sweep that onto my cheekbones. It's a very natural highlight, so if you like glowy, glowy, glowy highlights, you won't like this. But I found that it can be decently built up to a subtle sheen. But if you're someone that likes a glow from within, you'll love this because it looks healthy and it looks like skin. But as you can tell on my nose, like it can totally be built up to have a nice beam. So that wraps up the face products. We only have the lips, and let's set it, and then we're done for the day. So the lip product that I'm gonna use is the Milani Amore Matte Liquid Lip Cream in the shade 10, which is adorable. This is definitely a very drying liquid lipstick. I can put up with drying formulas. I don't love them, I don't loathe them, but I really like this color and I wanted a nude for today. So we're gonna go in on this shade. It comes on like a really nice flat doe foot, and just apply that. So I definitely overlined my lips a bit, but it's done and it's how we're rocking today. So I am gonna put on a bit of a lip gloss. I have the ColourPop and Kathleen Lights lip gloss in the shade Moonchild, which is a really pretty nude. I'm just gonna throw that right on top. And our last step is gonna be to set the face so it lasts all day. And for setting spray, I'm gonna go with Catrice Prime and Fine setting spray. And you can see how much I love it because there's like nothing left. So that wraps up this cool tone drugstore makeup look. All of the products that we use are products that I really love and wholeheartedly stand behind, not just because they're affordable, but because they're generally good products. If you like this video, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel and giving this a thumbs up. I post 3 new videos every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, and I'd love if you would join me next time. If you want to see more drugstore related videos on my channel, let me know because I love drugstore makeup. But that's gonna wrap it up for today. Thanks for watching.